Well, virtual action learning is simply action learning, but the people aren't in the same room together. It's still a small group of people asking each other questions to help each other learn, but we use technology like Skype or WebEx or teleconferencing to get people into the same virtual space. We've been doing it for a few years now, and we're confident that it can work just as well as regular face-to-face action learning. So the beauty of virtual action learning is it opens the door to action learning for so many more people. Unless you're all working from the same location, there are always going to be time and travel costs involved in coming together for action learning. Working virtually gets rid of that. So there's always going to be a saving on time and travel costs. But that's not the only reason. What we're noticing is that all action learning develops people's skills in asking questions and listening. But working virtually means that people build the ability to make real connections with people that they're not physically in the presence of. And now we know it's going to be an increasingly important part of any manager or leader's skill set to be able to work well virtually, to make that real connection, perhaps with a team that they never actually meet face to face. So we see people getting better and more comfortable at working virtually, and we think that's going to be really important. So there are two key things that are different when we're doing virtual action learning. Firstly, we're using technology. Secondly, we're usually working with limited or no visual information. We can't see the other people. So with the technology, we make sure that everybody knows how to use it. We have a practice run, and we also have a support person on hand. So if somebody can't get online with the call, we can hopefully help them resolve that problem. And working with limited or no visual information is interesting. So if we're in a room together and I want to show you that I'm listening, I'd be looking at you, I might be tilting my head to one side, I might be nodding. Working virtually, we need to get people used to making sounds. So to show that I'm listening, I might be going, and just giving those little kind of noises that let someone know there's someone there. But what we notice actually is that there's so much data in the voice, there's so much rich information. And if you're just listening, you can start to really tune into the emotion, the pace, the kind of energy in the voice. And people start to really get to grips with that. And in fact, some people are now saying that they actually prefer working virtually and just really having that rich voice to focus on. Probably the biggest challenge we face is that people will often be very used to multitasking. So they might be in a teleconference and doing their emails at the same time. So one thing we do is to make clear up front that on virtual action learning, we don't do that. If somebody's talking about a real life problem or challenge, they deserve the full attention of everybody in the meeting. And once people have reflected on that, I think they get it. Let's have a look at how a virtual action learning set works. It requires us to be explicit about what's happening.
We've got Razor and Tim and Simon with us, and we're just waiting for Julie.
Open questions in virtual sets can be really powerful.
Now, can you tell us what really matters to you here?
You talked a bit about your relationship with your manager, Anne. Can you tell us a bit more about your team?
Once a presenter has decided on their actions, set members offer their reflections.
I was really struck, Anne, by how you said that this was quite a minor issue and you were a bit anxious about presenting. I think what you've shown is actually very serious and really affecting your working relationships at the moment. And what I
was really struck by your determination to fix this situation, the real strength of your determination.
Well, looking to the future, it's really exciting. Action learning was developed at a time when we didn't have any of the technology that we have now. And so I think people thought that you could only do action learning if you were in the same room together. What we're seeing is that that's not the case. You can do really fantastic action learning with people who might be in all different parts of the world and never come together face to face. And that doesn't stop them from actually engaging in this really powerful form of learning. We think that's just really exciting. We think it means that action learning is going to be available to many more people in the future than it has been in the past.